Hello, hello, hello. My name is Amista, and we're here just to chit chat a little bit, catch up with some of my regulars, meet some new people, and just have some fun. So I'm clearing the cards while I wait for people to show up. This obviously was not a scheduled live stream, so we'll see what happens as far as people showing up during the week. In the early afternoon. I probably could not have picked a worse time. Probably everybody's at work. We'll see what happens. So what the plan here is, I'm going to go ahead and clear cards. After that, we'll do a little bit of like a little tiny micro session of Reiki, just about 5 minutes of Reiki. And then after that, we will do, we'll look at the tarot cards for some manifestation advice for today. And then we will answer questions for people who happen to be in the room. So this is the place to be if you want to get your questions answered. And you don't want to go through a whole big long actual reading. And I forgot to silence my phone. Let me take care of that. There we go. That's better. And so now I want to clear the Lenormand deck. That way we'll have that ready to rock and roll. Oh, come back here. I have cards trying to fly away and we didn't even ask a question yet. Hello, hello. Whoever's in here, feel free to say hi. You're the first person to join so far today. I'm sure there will be more later. We're just getting ready to get started. We've got our cards cleared. We're getting ready to start playing in the energy. Okay. So we are going to get started with a little Reiki micro session. And so we're going to do Reiki for whatever is for each of your highest and best good. This is going to apply if you're here now and if you're here later, either way. And we're just going to do 5 minutes of Reiki really quickly. 5 minutes at the normal time. Those of you who have questions about what Reiki is all about, feel free to go ahead and ask those questions now. And those of you who want to use this Reiki for a particular thing, feel free to go ahead and adjust that intention as well. There's nobody in the room right now, but there's somebody coming in later. And so I'm sure you'll hear this when you get here. But you're dealing with a whole lot of anger right now. Anger to the point that it is actually affecting your whole body. And the Reiki is working with that. The best way for you to help the Reiki to heal that is to allow yourself to feel the feelings that are coming up, to acknowledge those feelings, and then to release those feelings. And sometimes release looks like crying. Sometimes release looks like punching a pillow. Sometimes it looks like screaming. But whatever makes sense for you in your environment, a safe way to release. And that will help the healing move along much faster than if you try to smother it while it's doing its work. Okay, we've got our 5 minutes of Reiki in. Let's do a little bit of tarot. The first thing that we're going to look at for the tarot is going to have to do with what is our best manifestation advice for today. And so that'll be the first thing that we look at. And that's going to be advice that's good for the next 24 hours from the time that you watch this. That's how we're going to set this up. And let's see what comes up here. What comes up here for best manifestation advice? Okay, so the first thing that we have showing up here, we have the Huntsman. Now, the Huntsman is an interesting card. It talks about really judgment. This would be a judgment card in another deck, but it talks about deciding, the Huntsman had a lot of responsibility back when they were more common, although it still happens today, but the decisions are more on the local governments. But the Huntsman had to decide, what was becoming a predator that was too much in the environment and needed to be eliminated, or at least really pushed back. And so they would have to go in and actually hunt the overrunning predators out or down to a reasonable number, not to mess up the ecology of the area. And they also had to decide what needed to be nurtured. What was it that they could not be picking out of the environment because it was vulnerable? And so the Huntsman had this incredible responsibility to make sure that the ecology still stayed good in spite of, getting food to bring for the people. And so this talks about doing things in a just way, doing things in a fair way, making sure that, everybody has an equal playing field. So whatever decisions we're making today, we need to make those decisions in a very just and fair way. Moving on, we have the 7 of Challenges showing up in reverse. And this talks about there may be something where we need to return to where we've already done something or where we've already had an interaction and make some adjustments or make some corrections, bring that back into a good space. Maybe we didn't leave it in a good place. So it's interesting how that really ties in with this first card of making fair decisions and keeping the balance in the ecology. And this is, looking at, oh, maybe I didn't do something in such a fair way. This is kind of coming back to that idea of judgment, of justice, of make things fair and into balance. So, and it's interesting, I held the cards up in the wrong order, but the way they come up, see how the foxes, whoops, wrong card, oh, backwards. See how the foxes are moving towards the huntsman? It's like this card of going back to a situation and fixing it is coming up, and it's saying we're returning to justice, we're returning to balance where things got out of balance. It's a good idea to go back and get them back into balance. And then we have our 9 of visions showing up here, and this is in reverse. This would be like a 9 of cups. A 9 of cups is a card that talks about being very restless, being anxious to really to be able to offer more of what we have and more of who we are to the world. And so when this card comes up, this says, we want to offer more. Maybe we feel like we could do more and we would like to have a promotion at work, or maybe we feel like we could do more and we want to volunteer somewhere, but we haven't found that place yet. Then this talks about that idea of having that restlessness, that itch to be able to offer more to the world. And so when we have this is where we're looking, and really just almost like restlessly looking for where can we expand what we bring out to the world that we know we're good at, that we know other people can benefit from. And so to me, this whole idea of going back and making something right and fair and aligned is kind of the key here. It's a part of this restlessness, and it's a part of this idea of being able to offer something to the world, just and even, and going back to that balance, making sure that that balance is tweaked just exactly perfectly and aligned perfectly, so that we can, this is part of that energy to actually be able to expand who all we can reach with what we have to offer. This really talks about the idea of making an impact on people out in the world. How do we make an impact? We want to make more of an impact. Well, the first step to making more of an impact is to go back to this idea of doing things in a very fair and balanced way. Okay, you can't be obsessing about one thing and neglecting other things. So being balanced is really important if we want to make an impact in the world. It can't be, oh, we're only focusing on one particular part of that or another. So this is the point in the live stream where I normally read tarot for people if they're in the stream. However, it doesn't look like anybody's actually in the live stream right now. So I guess I'm not going to be taking any tarot questions. I'm looking at answers for them. So I guess it's time for me to get out of here and see where else I can go help some people. And so I thank you guys for stopping by and hanging around. I appreciate you so much. Everybody have a fantastic day. Peace out.